After prolonged stress, the brain reduces emotional response by up to 40%. Not suddenly, gradually. Most people don't notice when it happens. They just feel different one day. Less reactive, less impressed, less surprised by life. What too much really means. Too much is not one big trauma. For most men, it is accumulation. Years of responsibility, pressure that never fully turns off, problems that must be solved again and again without applause. Work stress, financial uncertainty, family roles, unspoken expectations. Nothing dramatic enough to stop life, but enough to slowly change how the brain works. The mind learns patterns. If reacting strongly does not change the outcome, the brain begins to conserve energy. This is not a conscious choice. It is a neurological adjustment. The system says, lower the response, stay functional. What actually changes in the brain? Under long-term stress, the brain prioritizes survival efficiency, not happiness, not excitement, efficiency. Emotional reactions require energy. Hope requires energy. Anger requires energy. When stress becomes constant, the brain limits emotional output. This is why some men stop reacting the way they used to. They are not numb. They are regulated. Sometimes too well. Dopamine responses flatten. Cortisol stays elevated. The nervous system stays on low alert mode. Life still happens, but it no longer feels loud. How this looks from the outside. From the outside, these men are often misunderstood. They are described as calm, distant, hard to read, emotionally unavailable. But what people don't see is history. They are not indifferent, they are selective. They have learned that not everything deserves a reaction. They don't panic easily. They don't celebrate easily either. Not because nothing matters, but because too many things once mattered at the same time. The emotional volume knob was turned down, slowly, quietly, without permission. Common misinterpretations. Society often labels this state incorrectly. It is called burnout, depression, coldness, loss of passion. Sometimes those labels are accurate. Often they are not. There is a difference between emotional damage and emotional adaptation. One is collapse. The other is control. Many men in this state still work, still provide, still solve problems. They are not broken, but they are changed. And change is often mistaken for loss. The hidden cost of adaptation. This adaptation has a price. When emotional response is reduced, positive emotions are also reduced. Joy becomes quieter, excitement shorter, motivation more practical than emotional. Life becomes stable, but less colorful. This is why some men say, I don't feel bad, but I don't feel much either. The danger is not sadness. The danger is emotional flatness. Because flatness can slowly disconnect a person from meaning, curiosity, and connection. Not dramatically, gradually. Why the brain chooses this path. The brain does not care about fulfillment. It cares about prediction and control. If emotional reactions increase risk or exhaustion, the brain reduces them. This strategy works in difficult environments. It keeps people alive. It keeps them functioning. But when life becomes safer, the system does not automatically reset. The brain needs a reason to reopen emotional range, and many men never get that signal. They stay in survival mode long after survival is no longer required. Strengths that come with this state. There are strengths here, whether acknowledged or not. People who have gone through too much often have high stress tolerance, strong emotional boundaries, realistic expectations, resistance to manipulation. They are hard to impress, hard to shock, hard to destabilize. This is not weakness. It is a nervous system trained by experience. But strength without awareness can quietly turn into isolation. The real question is not, how do I feel? The real question is, what did my mind learn to survive? Because this state did not appear randomly. It was trained by pressure, by repetition, by responsibility. Understanding this removes shame, not because someone deserves comfort, but because clarity restores control. When the pattern is named, it can be adjusted, not quickly, not emotionally, but intentionally. Why many men never talk about this. This experience is hard to explain. There is no clear story, no single event, just a sense that something narrowed. And in many cultures, men are not taught to describe internal change, only external failure. So they stay silent, functional, responsible, unreadable, and often alone with their awareness. If you've gone through too much, your mind may not react the way it once did. Not because something is missing, but because something was learned. And what is learned can be re-examined, quietly, without drama. Share your experience in the comments. Maybe your story will help someone who feels this shift, but has never put words to it. This is the if verse, the place where your mind becomes easier to understand. Subscribe. There is so much more to explore. Thank you for watching.